boy, because I visited my dying mother 3 times a week. My mom has stage 4 cancer. She lives alone, and after work I drive over to bring groceries, organize her medications, take her to appointments, and sit with her while she told me the same story she'd been telling for years. I didn't mind. Every time she repeated them, I knew there would come a day when I would give anything to hear them again. But my wife hated it. At first she was supportive. Then she started calling my visits an obsession. She said I cared more about my mother than my marriage. She told me a grown man shouldn't need to see his mother 3 times a week. Then one night she sat me down and gave me an ultimatum. She looked me straight in the eye and said, "Choose, me or your mother." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My mother was fighting for her life, and my wife wanted me to abandon her. I told her I needed time to think. A few nights later, I couldn't sleep. I went downstairs for a glass of water and noticed a light on in the den. The door was cracked open. Inside, my wife was talking to her mother. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but then I heard something that stopped me in my tracks. Her mother said, "The sooner the old woman dies, the better." My wife laughed. Then she said, "I know. I'm tired of pretending to care." My heart dropped. I stood frozen in the hallway, listening as they talked about my mother's house, her savings, and what would happen after she died. They weren't worried about losing her. They were excited about what they thought they would gain. That night, I started documenting everything. For weeks, I gathered evidence, every conversation, every plan, every disgusting comment. And what I discovered was even worse than I imagined. They had already started discussing what they would do with my mother's money. They were treating her death like a business opportunity. The next morning, I called a lawyer. I followed every piece of legal advice I was given. I made sure my mother's affairs were protected. Then I filed for divorce. The day my wife was served, she completely lost it. She screamed that I was destroying our marriage. She called me selfish. She called me cruel. But when she realized I had proof of everything she'd said behind my back, the anger disappeared. Suddenly she wanted to talk. Suddenly she wanted another chance. Suddenly she loved me again. It was too late. My mother is still alive today. I still visit her 3 times every week. And every time she tells me those same old stories, I sit there and listen to every single word. Because one day, those stories will be gone. And unlike some people, I know exactly what they're worth.